The fourth question says if f of x is equal to x cubed minus x squared plus 4x plus 5 and g of x is 5, then g of f of x is equal to dash a 5x squared plus 15x plus 25, b 5x cubed plus 15x squared plus 20x plus 25, c 1125, d 5. This is related with the composition of two functions, okay? The composition of two functions. In this case, we have to remember that when we say g of f of x, the domain of this function should be what? The intersection of the two domains, okay? The two domains. You have to be careful with this one. If f of x is x cubed minus x squared plus 4x plus 5 and g of x is 5, this is a constant, but this one is a polynomial. Okay, this is, or we can say that's a polynomial or real function. This is a constant function. The combination of a real function and a constant function is becomes what? It depends on the composite function. If f comes first, it can be the solution becomes what? Change. But the constant function is as composition of the real function, that is from g of f of x. Whatever the value of x, okay, in the constant function, you see, in the constant function, whatever the value of x or any kind of real numbers that you can substitute in x, the constant function is always fixed. So from this is we call what a constant function or a constant just as a point, okay, as a point. So this means we can say that g of f of x is that is g of f of x becomes what? X cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x plus 5. You see, this is whatever the value of x, let's say this is 1, okay, and that becomes what? Constant, that is 5. Constant function is always considered as a constant. So from this 5x squared plus 15x plus 25, this is wrong because this is a real function, okay, because the g is a constant function, this one is a real function. When you come to b, it multiplies all the numbers by what? 5. 5. This also becomes 5x cubed plus 15x squared plus 20x plus 25. See, this is again wrong. See, just substitute the value of x by what? 5. So finally it becomes what? 1125. This is again, this is x, this is x. So the answer is 5. Be careful in the case of composition of functions. In constant function, whatever the value of x, it is always what? 5. The domain of this one is real number again, no problem. And the range also what? Real number. In this case, the domain is real number. The range is what? 5. The range is whatever the value of x, it is what? 5. So the range becomes what? Again 5. So the answer is D, that is 5. Well, when we come to the fifth question, if f of x is x squared minus x the power of negative 2, where x is any number without 0, then f of 1 over x is equal to dash f of 1 over x. So let's rewrite this one, this f of x in standard form or in rational function form. So f of x is equal to x squared minus x. When you say the exponent is a negative, we can say that 1 over x squared, right? X squared. So, but instead of x, we have to substitute what? 1 over x to find the value of f of 1 over x. So f of 1 over x becomes what? 1 over x the whole square minus s 1 over x the whole square. So this becomes what? 1 over x square minus, this is 1 over x square means, you know that 1 over x square, this becomes what can be converted like this, 1 over x square minus x square. So this is equivalent with x to the power of negative 2 minus what? X squared. This means equivalent with what? Negative of, or let me bring it over here, negative of x squared plus x to the power of negative 1. Yes, negative 1, which is equivalent to the negative of f of x, right? F of x, because what? X squared minus x negative, because this is or we consider negative of x squared minus this becomes what? 2, negative 2. See, the same thing, which is equivalent to the negative of f of x. So from this, a says what? Itself f of x, b the negative of f of x, c f of 1 over x, that's the question it is, and f of x the whole square. So from this, finally we get what? The negative of f of x. So from the choice, we get what? B. We get B. So this is how can we solve this equation. When we count the sixth one, f of x is equal to the negative of square root of 25 minus x squared, and then we need to find f of x minus f of 1 over x minus 1 as x tends to what? 1. Yes, as x tends to 1. But don't forget that when you substitute the value of x by 1, it becomes what? A number over 0. This is out of the domain, which is out of the rule of mathematics. So from this, it is impossible to substitute the value of x. So it is difficult to substitute directly. Okay, when you find out the limit, in the case of finding the limit, we have different conditions or different methods to solve that one. The first one is maybe what? The easiest one is direct substitution. The second one is simplification, or the other one is, you can see that, rationalization. In this case, we can use rationalization technique to find out what? Or to eliminate over 0. To eliminate what? Over 0. So from this solution, the solution becomes what? Let me substitute f of 1 first. Okay, f of 1, which is negative of 25 minus 1 square. 1 square, which is the negative of 25 minus 1, which is the negative of 24, right? F of 1 is the negative of square root of 24. So just a matter of, we can substitute in this one, and finally we have to rationalize it. So the limit x tends to 1 when f of x minus f of 1 over x minus 1 becomes what? F of x is the negative of square root of 25 minus x squared minus the negative of itself, okay? The negative of square root of 24, right? Divided by x minus 1. So in this case, when you substitute x, it becomes the value of x by 1, it becomes what? 0. So we have to rationalize this. This becomes what? The negative of square root of 25 minus x squared. The minus is plus square root of 24 over x minus 1. So this it can be, we have to rationalize by using what? This one. That is, we have to multiply it by what? The negative side, or we can say that the square root of 24, or we can rearrange like terms, or the positive one to bring the left side, and the negative one is becomes what? The same thing, which is equivalent to 9 minus radical 25 minus x squared over x minus 1. So let's rationalize it by using what? Square root of 24 plus square root of 25 minus x squared divided by the square root of 24 plus this is plus the square root of 25 minus x squared. So it becomes what? Finally becomes 24 times 24 or square root of 24 times square root of 24 is, you know, that 24, and minus is minus, that is 25 minus x squared divided by x minus 1 times square root of 24 plus the square root of 25 minus x squared. So this becomes what? 24 minus 25 is that becomes what? 1, yes, right? 1. That becomes 24 minus 25 plus x squared divided by x minus 1 times square root of 24 plus square root of 25 minus x squared. Sorry. 24 minus 25 is, this is minus 1. So it becomes what? X squared minus 1, right? That becomes what? X squared minus 1 over x minus 1 times the square root of 24 plus the square root of 25 minus x squared. This can be factorized again, yes? X squared minus 1 means can be written as x plus 1 times x minus 1, yes? All over the same value. This is x minus 1 times square root of 24 plus square root of 25 minus x squared. So this cancelled, you see? It becomes what? Cancelled. Finally, we left what? The limit of x plus 1 over square root of 24 plus square root of 25 minus x squared as x goes to 1. Now you can substitute. So it becomes what? 2 over radical 24, yes? Radical 24 yes, plus radical 25 minus 1 is 24, yes, 24, so it comes out 2 over radical twice of radical 24. Now to cancel, it comes out 1 over radical 24. So this can be, we have to, again, this number can be rationalized, so we have to multiply it by radical 24 by radical 24. Finally, it becomes what? Radical 24 divided by 24. This is the final answer for the limit of f of x minus f of 1 over x minus 1 as x tends to 1, where f of x is the negative of 25 minus x squared. So we have to use different techniques to solve questions. By the way, when you solve the same kind of questions, you have to realize what method of solving this question should I have to use in order to simplify it. So when you see this kind of questions, it seems to be difficult, but when you find out, or when you write different options of solving, you can find out the answer. This is enough for today. Hello again, this is again David. This part is continuing from the previous video, starting from question number 7. So previously we have seen 6 questions with their brief explanation. So for this video we are going to see starting or continuing from that lesson, that is question number 7. Okay, let's read it. What is the value of the limits 3 to the power of n plus the power of n over 3 to the power of 6 to the power of n as x tends to infinity? This means you know that the sum of series in arithmetic or in geometric progression seems to be the same as like finding the limit of an infinite series, but this one is completely different from that one, because this is as x tends to infinity, but that the sum of the series says what? We are going to find out the sum of each terms in geometric as well as in arithmetic. So እዚህ ጋር ምንድነው በሊሚት በኩል ስንሰራቸው ከዛኛው በአርቲሜቲክ ወይ ደግሞ ሰሜሽን ከምንሰራቸው ውስጥ ለየት ይላል። ባለፈው እንደነገርኳችሁ ሊሚትን ስንሰራ የምንሰራባቸው የተለያዩ ቴክኒኮች አሉ። እነዛ ቴክኒኮች ለኛ እንዲመቸን በሚችል መልኩ መሆን አለበት። So from this, for example, say we have to split these 2 terms inside the bracket in order to simplify this one. Okay, so this means we can say that the limit of 3 to the power of n over 6 to the power of n as x tends to infinity plus the limit of 2 to the power of n over 6 to the power of n. So we can split it, okay? We can split in order to simplify easily. So this means we can say that the exponent is n, which means as x tends to infinity, or let's say this is n, okay? This can be what? N tends to infinity. So this means we know that when the value of n is going to infinity, meaning very large number, comparing in the numerator and the denominator, we have to find out, or we have to estimate it. This means we know that the limit of n goes to infinity, which is 3 over 6, the whole the power of n, which is possible, you can say that this means, and as n tends to infinity over here, limit of 2 over 6, the whole the power of n goes to what? Infinity, meaning እዚህ ጋር n ወደ በጣም ትልቅ ወደ ሆነ ቁጥር እየሄድን በመጣ ቁጥር የማለት ሲምፕሊፋይ ማድረግ እንችላለን። that is limit of n goes to infinity, 3 over 6 means 1 over 2, right? 1 over 2 plus the limit of n goes to infinity, and which is 2 over 6 means 1 over 3. You see, we can split it again, this one, okay? The same thing, meaning n to the power of 1 means always the fixed number, but when to the power of n, to let's where the infinity power ስናስቀምጣቸው very large number ይሆናል። Yes, very large number ይሆናል። at the power of n አለ። ስለዚህ this limit becomes what? 0. This becomes what? 0, because n ወደ ትልቅ ቁጥር በሄደ ቁጥር የአንድ value ራሱ ነው የሚሆነው, because 1 to the power of n is the same thing, 1 whatever the value of n, but to the power of n, when n goes to very large number, it becomes what? Very large. So a single number or 1 over, it becomes what? Infinity. You see, አንድን ቁጥር በጣም ትልቅ ግዙፍ ለሆነ ቁጥር ስናካፍለው ማለት በጣም ትንሽ ነው, but it is not exactly infinity, but it goes to infinity. Therefore አንድን ቁጥር ለበጣም ትልቅ ቁጥር ስናስካፍለው የምናገኛቸው ቁጥር ምንድነው? 0 ነው ማለት ነው። The same thing for this one. Union 1 to the power of n, or when we say 1 to the power of n over 3 to the power of n means 1 to the power of n is the same thing with that is 0 or 1, and 3 to the power of n where n goes to infinity becomes what? Very large number, very large number. Therefore, so the same thing like this one, only the difference is the denominator, that is 2, but the second one is 3. So the same statement, that becomes what? 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. So from the choice, A says what? 1, B says 0, C infinity, D 5 over 6. You see, you have to, እዚህ ጋር በጣም መጠንቀቅ አለባችሁ። ለምሳሌ 3 to the power of n plus 2 to the power of n 5 over 6 የመጣችበት ምክንያት ብነግራችሁ 3 እና 2 ይደምርና 5 to the power of n ከዛ በኋላ n ቢያጠፋና 5 over 6 ሊመጣ ይችላል ብሎ ይገምታል። ኢንፊኒቲ ማለት በጣም ላርጅ ነምበር ነው። ላርጅ ቁጥር እናከፍላችሁ ኦልሞስት ወደ አንድ ቁጥር ነበት። ከነዚህኞቹ አንጻራዊ ስናየው ግን ከታች ያለው ቁጥር በጣም ኤክስትሪምሊ ትልቅ የሆነ ቁጥር ነው የሚሄደው። ስለዚህ final answer is what? 0. So this is a question. By the way, this question is from national exam of grade 12 in 2011. Okay, this question is derived from that one. Okay, question number 8. What is the limit of the limit of h tends to 0 and 8 times 1 over 2 plus h the whole square minus 8 times 1 over 2 the whole square over h. This is what you call it, the definition of the limit says what? We know that the limit says what? Limit as x tends to 0, or we can say that h tends to 0 and f of x plus h minus f of x divided by what? H. This is the definition of the limit. How can we find out when it is goes to 0? So we have to use different technique again to solve this limit. Okay, this limit. So this means we have to take that. We have to find out, or we have to square it that one. That means limit of 8 times 1 over 2 plus h the whole square minus 8 times 1 over 2 the whole square divided by h as h goes to what? 0. As h goes to 0. So we have to find out this one first. Okay, we have to simplify this one. But if we substitute the value of h by 0, it becomes what? Undefined. Yes. So it's just direct substitution is irrelevant for solving this question. So from this 8 times 1 over 2 plus h means, you know, that 1 over 4 plus h square, yes, h square minus 8 times 1 over 4, because 1 over 2 square is 1 over 4. ምክንያቱም 1 over 2 ዳይ ታስታውሱ ከሆነ a plus b the whole square ማለት a square plus 2ab plus b square በሚለው ህግ መሰረት ይሄ 8 ሲባዛ 1 over 2 plus h the whole square ማለት comes that 8 times 1 over 4, that means a square, h means 1 over 2 times h times 2 becomes what? H plus h square. So the same thing for this one. We have to continue. That means, you see, we can let it solve divided by all over all. We can say that we can put as the number it is. That means 8 times 1 over 4, yes, plus 8h plus 8h square minus 8 times 1 over 4, yes. These are opposites, yes. Opposite becomes what? 0, yes, 0. And there is over h here, again over h here. So it becomes what? 8h plus 8h square divided by h as h goes to 0. As h goes to 0. This means let me take h as a common factor, h. So we left 8 plus h, yes, divided by h. Now h cancelled by h. So it becomes what? The limit of 8 plus h over 1, or you can see that as h goes to 0. So this means just you can't substitute now, because this statement cannot becomes what? Undefined statement. ስለዚህ በዚህ መልኩ እንደዚህ የሰራን በየቦታተን መስራት እንችላለን። ስለዚህ 8 ሲደመር 0 ሲካፈል 1 ለማለት 8 ሲካፈል 1 is equal to 8. ስለዚህ መልሳችሁ ስንት ነው ማለት ነው? 8 ነው ማለት ነው። መጀመሪያ ላይ ግን እዚህ ጋር እንዳለ ጥያቄውን በኤች ቦታ ላይ 0 የምታስገቡበት ምን ይላችኋል? undefined ይሆናል። ከላይ ያለ ቁጥር ችግር የለውም። አንድ ቁጥር ይመጣል፣ የሆነ ቁጥር ይመጣላችኋል። almost 0 over 0 ይመጣል። 0 over 0 ከመጣልን ደግሞ ስቴትመንታችን ከሂሳብ ህግ ውጪ ስለምንኖር we have to take another method of solving equations. Number 9, again this is a sequence with common difference a2 minus a1, 6 minus 2 is 4, 10 minus 6 4, 40 minus 10 is again 4, so common difference is 10. So if a1 2, a2 is 6, a3 is 10, a4 is 14, then find the sum of all the arithmetic numbers from 1 to until what? 100. So first we have to find out what the common difference means. The common difference. So common difference D is equal to a2 minus a1, which is equal to a3 minus a2, which is equal to, it goes just like this. So that is a2 is 6 minus 2, which is equivalent to 10 minus 6, which is equivalent to 40 minus 10, all equivalent to what? 4. So our common difference is 4. So this kind of sequence is an arithmetic sequence. Therefore, we have to find out the sum of n. So n starts from 1 till 100 can be written as, or can be written, or by using partial sum rule. Sn is equal to n over 2 times twice of a1 plus n minus 1 times common difference d. Now here the maximum number, or n, is 100. Yes, the common difference is 4. a1 is 2. It is known. So therefore s of 100 is equal to 100 divided by 2 times a1 is 2 plus n minus 1 means that is 99. Yes, because 100 minus 1 is 99 times common difference is 4. Yes, 4. So 100 divided by 2 is 50, right? 50 times, this is 4 plus, we have to multiply this one. 4 times 9 is 36. Carries so 4 times 9 is again 36, plus 3 is 39. So 4 plus 396 is 400. Yes, 400. So 50 times 400 is equal to 20,000. So the sum of the arithmetic sequence having a1 is 2, common difference of 4, with and the n starts from 1 till 100, or the sum of 100 sequences using this statement is becomes what? 20,000. So the choice A says what? 20,000, 20. This is wrong. B, 20,200. Again, it is not. C, 20,000. D says what? 22,000. So the correct answer is what? C. Let's move to question number 6. Let an can be defined by n starts from 1 till infinity be defined recursively by a1 is 1. Yes, a1, or a1, the first number is 1, and the an plus 1 can be determined by what? N plus 2 over n times an, where n should be greater than or equal to 2. Then we need to find the sum of n from 1 to what? 5. First, we have to find out a1. a1 is already, that is 1. a2 can be written as, can be calculated by using this recursive equation. We can say that a1, 1 plus 1, which is equivalent to 1 plus 2 divided by 1 and times 1. Yes, because a1 is how much? 1. Therefore, it becomes what? 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 over 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 3. Yes. Now, a3 becomes what? a2 plus 1. Yes. a2 plus 1. That is, we have to substitute 2 plus 2 over 2 n times an is that. See, a times what? An. An means that is what? How much? 3. Because a2 is 3. This becomes what? 4 over 2 times 3, which is equivalent to what? 6, right? 6. A4, we have to find out. A4 means a of 3 plus 1, which is 3 plus 2 over 3, because 3 refers to what? This number, okay? A3, or n value. So this times the n means what? N is 6, because A3 we have to find out again what? By 3 times 6, which is by 3, 1 by 3 is 2, 3 plus 2, which is equivalent to what? 10. And finally, A5 is equal to A4 plus 1, right? A4 plus 1. Instead of n, here, instead of this equation, we have to write 4 plus 2 divided by 4. Yes? አራትን እንተካበታለን ምክንያቱም n plus 1 ዲተርማይን የሚደረገው ማንኛው ነው n plus 2 over n ሲባዛ n this says what n plus 1 but this one is what n ብቻ ነው ስለዚህ 5 ላይ ከሆነ እዚህ ጋር እንጠቀሙ a4 እንጠቀማለን ማለት ነው ሲባዛ a4 ስንት ያመጣ ነው በ10 this means 6 over 4 times 10 which equivalent to by 2 by 2 3 by 2 1 by 2 5 3 times 5 is 15 so A1 is how much you know that A1 is 1 A2 is 3 A3 is 6 A4 is 10 and A5 is 15 now we are going to find out what the sum of the arithmetic sequence starting from 1 until what 5 that means A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5 which is we have to substitute all the value of A1, A2, A3 and A4 that is 1 plus because A1 is 1 A2 ስንት ነው 3 ሲደመር A3 ስንት ነው የመጣው 6 ሲደመር A4 ስንት ነው የመጣው 10 ሲደመር A5 15 ነው ማለት ነው ስለዚህ እነዚህ ድምር 1 ሲደመር 3 4 እና 6 10 እና 10 20 ሲደመር 15 35 መልሳችን ስንት ነው ማለት ነው 35 ወደ ምርጫው ጋር ስንሄድ የመጀመሪያው A says what 55 B 45 this is wrong this is also wrong C says what 35 and D is 20 so our answer is 35 because be careful you have to if the defined recursive or recursive equation of the given arithmetic equation is given you have to substitute and find out what for each term በእያንዳንዱ ተርሞች መፈለግ አለባችሁ ምክንያቱም ይሄኛው ማለት የቀጣዮቹን ተርሞች የምናገኝበት ፎርሙላ የተሰጠን ፎርሙላ ስለሆነ ማለት ነው ስለዚህ ይችኛው ማለት ደግሞ summation of n means እያንዳንዱን A1 ሲደመር A2 ሲደመር A3 ሲደመር A4 ሲደመር A5 እስከምን ድረስ እስከ 5 ድረስ ኢንፊኒቲ ሆኖ ይቀጥላል goes like this okay ስለዚህ A1 ሲደመር A2 እስከምን ድረስ እስከ 5 ስለዚህ የሚያስፈልገን ማንኞቹ ናቸው ከA1 እስከ A5 ድረስ ብቻ ስለሆነ ማለት ነው A5, A1 is given already, so we have solved for A1, A2, A2, A3, A4, and 5 by using what this recursive formula. When you come to the 11th question, it says what the value of the limit for x minus 5 over x cubed as x tends to infinity is dash. እዚህ ጋር ምን ላሳውሳችሁ ፈልገው x ወደ ኢንፊኒቲ በሄደ ቁጥር ወይ ደግሞ ትልቅ ቁጥር ወደ ትልቅ ቁጥር በሄደ ቁጥር ልናገኘው የምንችለው ቫልዩ መስራት አለበት እንደዛ ነገር ሲያጋጥመው ምን እናደርጋለን መጀመሪያ ላይ we have to identify the value which has highest exponent ትልቅ ኤክስፖነንት ያለው ቁጥር ልክ ቫሪያብል እንወስድና እያንዳንዱን ቁጥር ለማካፈል ነው ለራሱ ማካፈል እንችላለን ማለት ነው ያ ማለት the limit of x goes to infinity ከነዚህ 4x አለ ቫሪያብል አለ ማለት ነው x ኤክስፖነንት ስንት ነው 1 ነው የታችኛውስ 3 ነው እዚህኛው ምንም የለው ቫሪያብል ነው ስለዚህ ከነዚህ ከ1 እና ከ3 ትልቁ ማን ነው 3 ነው ስለዚህ 3 ኤክስፖነንቱ 3 ስላለው ነገር እያንዳንዱ ቁጥር ማካፈል እንችላለን ምክንያቱም ይሄን ቁጥር በቀላሉ ወዴት እንደሚሄድ ጀጅ ማድረግ እንችላለን ማለት ነው ያ ማለት 4x over x cubed minus 5 over x cubed divided by what x cubed over x cube yes x cube over x cube ይሄ ማለት ምን ይላችኋል ምክንያቱም ለx cube ያካፈልኩበት ምክንያት ከነዚህ ውስጥ ቫሪያብል ካለበት ወይም ደግሞ በቫልዩ የምንተካበት ቁጥር ትልቁ ኤክስፖነንት ያለ ቫሪያብል ሆኖ ካለ ማለት ነው x cube ስኩዌር ቢሆን ነው ስኩዌር እንወስዳለን 5 ቢሆን 5 እንወስዳለን ስለዚህ ለእያንዳንዱ ቁጥር ያካፈል መሄድ እንችላለን ይሄ ማለት ምን ትሆናለች ሊሚት of this x becomes what x squared yes x goes to infinity 4 over x squared right x squared minus 5 over x cubed divided by x cubed over x cubed is this is 1 right this is 1 now a constant number or ይሄኛው ማለት ይችላልላችሁ መበተን ይችላልላችሁ ያ ማለት 4 ሲባዛ 1 over x squared ብላችሁ መበተን ይችላልላችሁ ያ ማለት አራትን ከፊት ለፊት አመጣችሁ ምክንያቱም limit of a constant number times the limit can be written as what constant number times the limit of the function ማስበክ ስለምንችል ማለት ነው ኮንስታንት የሆነ ቁጥር ፊክስድ የሆነ ቁጥር በጣም ወደ ትልቅ እየሄደ በሚመጣ ቁጥር ስናካፍለው ኦልሞስት ትሆናለች ዜሮ ትሆናለች። ምክንያቱም አንድ ቁጥር ኢማጂን እስኪ አንድ ቁጥር ለ1 ሚሊዮን ብታካፍሉት ሊመጣ የሚችለው ቁጥር በጣም ትንሽ ነው፣ ስሞል ነው። የኛውን 5ን በጣም ላርጅ ለሆነ ቁጥር ስናካፍላቸው ምን ይላሉ? ዜሮ ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ይሄ ሞዴል ይላል ወደ ዜሮ፣ ይሄኛው ሞዴል ይላል ወደ ዜሮ። that means 0 minus 0 divided by what? 1. 0 minus 0 ስንት ነው? that's 0 over 1 which is 0. ስለዚህ ሊሚታችን ስንት ነው ማለት ነው? the value of this limit as x goes to infinity 4x minus 5 over x cube is becomes what? 0. ስለዚህ ሊሚቱ ወዴት ነው ማለት ነው? ወደ 0 ይሄዳል ማለት ነው።